This is Paul McGann, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast.
Hello! I just want to say hello to the Five-ish Fangirls. No, that's wrong. I want to say hello to the Five-ish Fangirls. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. Anyway, hello. Hello. That's five hellos to the Five-ish Fangirls. Bye.
This is Sophie Aldred, who was Ace in the series Doctor Who, the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. No, hang on a minute. The Five-fish. No, Sylvester's done that one already. Five-fish Fangirls podcast. The Five-ish Fangirls. No. Hang on a minute. Hang on. The Five-ish Fangirls podcast. You are listening to the tangents and squee will continue.
The tangents of squee continue all the way to episode 117 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. And the Doctor goes a lot of places. He visited a lot of planets, visited a lot of people. But this time around, the Doctor is going to visit the lovely state of Ohio. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week. We're going to the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Belvedere.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
This is Mitch in Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel at Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We are here. So, we're recording slightly earlier than what we normally do. So, Chrissy is otherwise occupied with family stuff. But depending on how long this goes, she might jump in. If not, she'll return next week. So, but in the... I guess not in Chrissy's place, because Chrissy may show up, but on top of our usual round table here, a virtual round table, we have a guest with us this week. So we want to welcome Patrick, who is, do you have like an official title as far as the Lord Expo is concerned, or are you just like head, chicken running around with the head cut off, or what?
Well, a little bit of that too. Nowadays, someone in my position is called a showrunner.
Showrunner. You're like Stephen Moffat.
Yeah, I think that's where it came from. So, everybody seems to be using that title nowadays.
Yeah, hey, that works. So,
yeah.
Awesome. So we will chat with you here in a second. Like I was saying before we start recording, we don't normally do news when we have a guest on, but we are at the beginning of a new month, so we do a little bit of housekeeping. So new month means new photo challenge, and the results for the book club poll. So whoever wants to go first.
Real quick, the book club choice for December is Lethbridge Stewart Times Squared, and that is available for purchase.
Awesome.
And sorry. Nope, you're good. Okay. And the photo challenge for this month is the ABCs of Fantastic Beast. And despite the title, it's for like all magical creatures, not just like from the movie, which is where I got the title idea from, but all magical creatures, shape, size, and whatever.
Yep.
And it is, as we're recording, the 4th day, but it's never too late to join in, so hop on if you want to.
Mm-hmm. It's fun stretching my memory and Googling stuff, because obviously Harry Potter's got a lot of, magical creatures, but it's like, okay, what else is there? There's Tolkien, and there's Star Wars, and like, what other fandoms have magical creatures that I could pick from? And not even necessarily from fandoms too. I mean, you've got like Greek mythology and all sorts of fun stuff. So awesome! So yay! New month, new fun stuff to play with. So yay! So all right. Well, the whole reason we're here, at least this week, and the reason Patrick is here is Patrick is the showrunner for a up-and-coming Doctor Who convention, which I talked about a little bit when I talked about Doctoberfest at Who North America, which is where actually Patrick and I made contact. They decided to scuttle on over from Ohio over to Who North America for the day for Doctoberfest. So, but I've not my place. It's not my convention, so I'll let you talk about it. So.
Okay. Well, the convention was born out of actually my attendance at a couple of the larger, huge mega conventions, and where there were Doctor Who guests and who I wanted to go and see naturally, it just, I'm from the old days of Doctor Who back in the '80s. I started out working on conventions back then, and it was totally different from anything I'd experienced before as far as interaction and being able to interact with guests. And so my idea was to create a convention like we used to have in the 80s and into the 90s, where it was very fan friendly. There are a couple of conventions here in the States that still do that. And their showrunners have been very helpful with us and helping us with ideas to get going. But it's what we just basically want to do is an event where the fans will have time to interact with the guests and feel like they're a part of it, as opposed to just be there just to spend money and get not even a 1 minute opportunity with the guests. So, having said that, we birthed Time Lord Expo, and we managed to get a terrific facility at the Holiday Inn in Fairborn, Dayton, and they've been incredible with us on getting everything set up. So we actually reached out to a lot of different actors. We had a short list of who we wanted to get. Paul McGann, of course, was first on the list, but Paul was kind of difficult to get a hold of and to try to track down a booking for him. Luckily, one of the other convention promoters does his bookings here in the States. So we were finally able to last week announce Paul being with us. He's going to join Sylvester McCoy will be with us, Seventh Doctor, and his companion Ace, Sophie Aldred, will be with us. And Simon Fisher Becker, who was Dorian during the Matt Smith era, he's going to be with us with his body attached to his head.
That's always good.
Well, you see his head or his whole body. I'm sure Simon appreciated the rest of him was able to come.
Yeah. I'm sure he is.
Yeah. Ian McNeese, who was Winston Churchill, who did a fabulous job as Winston Churchill, and he's going to be with us. And we managed to get Daniel Huffman Gill, who was the character of Boris, or better known as Dude, during the 9th season premiere episode. The head of the Viking village that Peter exiled himself to, the Doctor exiled himself to. So he's been a fabulous addition and a great fellow. And we have, we just recently were able to book Caitlin Blackwood, who is the young Amy Pond. She did that through at least 2 seasons in Flashback. She's also Karen Gallant's cousin, which is how she was able to land that job on Doctor Who's Young Amy. And then, of course, we have James Callahan, who works with Big Finish Audios. And then we have our band artist guest of honor, Rodney Fike. He's a local artist, and he does some incredible work. He's going to be doing our official convention poster for the event. And then we also have Virginia Hay, originally from Farscape, and her connection is that she has done Big Finish Audios actually with Tom Baker. So that was a nice addition to it. And so what we're going to be doing is the event's going to be in October, the 13th through the 15th. And if you want to have the hours, the daily hours, if you want to get those out to the folks, it'll be on Friday the 13th. It'll be from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And the guests will be there signing autographs. If you're going to arrive the day before. And Saturday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., which is when we're going to wrap the show up. And the registration is going to start up an hour prior to the actual show floor hours. The guests are going to do autographs. We have a room set aside for all of them to be. They're all going to be in the room together, and we're going to keep it as organized as possible. Which, I think logistically, the way we've got it laid out, we're going to be okay. The good thing is, we've got them set up in kind of a round table kind of way. Well, not a round table, I shouldn't say that, but it's kind of a horseshoe pattern, so the folks can come in and go to what table they want. We're going to let so many in the room at a time to get their autographs, and then move on to the next group. The autographs are going to be sold at the table, and that's something I want to point out that is cash only, because that's actually the guests' fees for their autograph. So that goes directly to them. So that isn't going to be cash. Even though we have wonderful Wi-Fi in the hotel, we're certainly not going to take the time to do Wi-Fi because we don't want to get bottled up.
Cash is always your friend at conventions.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, the good thing is, I made sure I warned the hotel that they were going to have to make sure that their ATM is filled up. And actually, within very, very close walking distance is another ATM at a Right Track Credit Union. So we're accessible to cash if people need it. And then there are some other things. There are some other things going on during the event that are cash only, as in one of our pieces of programming we have. And we're just now starting to put the programming together. But we do have a couple of things that are set in stone. Is the Time Lord Vault, as we're calling it, which is it's a Doctor Who museum. Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey, who is out of upstate New York. They're one of our dealers. There also they have prop replicas that they have created, and they do take to some shows. They've never brought them all to one show, which is this is going to be a first time for them. But they have fantastic replicas. They have a Cassandra, full-size, life-size Cassandra. They have the Clockwork. Yeah, they have the Clockwork Men. They have handles. They're working on others that I can't talk about right now because they're going to be exclusively coming to our show. Cool. But they're going to have a whole room of this Doctor Who museum. And people can come in and, you can get your pictures taken with them. That's no charge, take pictures of them or be with them, posing with them. They are going to be asking for a $5 fee entrance into the room, but that's basically to defer their cost to bring everything because they need to, actually get a big truck to bring all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that fee is $5, and that's going to be cash. And then out of Oklahoma, we have a TARDIS coming, and also a life-size replica of K9.
Nice.
And they're going to be in the dealer's room, but they charge, again, I believe it's $5 for, and but that money goes to one of their charities. So they're doing that for a wonderful cause. And like I said, the autographs will be at their tables. We have, for all this information, the best thing to do is go to our Facebook page, which is Time Lord Expo. We're kind of running everything out of there. After the first year, we're planning on having a website. Basically, we're using social media, and believe me, it has been incredible, the response. Doing it that way, which is something new. I know some other conventions have done it, and we're really happy with how it's worked out for us. And we're even doing ticket sales through our Facebook page, which is connected to Eventbrite. And people can, if you don't want to go through the shop now button on our Facebook page, you can go to Eventbrite and look up Lord Expo. Ticket prices are Friday, one-day Friday pass is $25. Saturday is $40. Sunday is $30, and then we have a 3-day pass for $80. And right now, I'm not quite sure when we're going to be getting this out. The podcast will be up. But we have a really, and I don't use this term lightly, we have a huge announcement coming any day now. I'm just waiting right now for the contract to be signed. Mm-hmm. Everything is set in stone. And the reason I mentioned that is because I'm kind of asking everyone to hold off on the 3-day pass, because once this announcement is made, we're going to offer and it is very limited, but we are going to be offering a VIP package for this. Yes, and I can't
say anything.
That would put a kibosh on everything.
Yeah.
But I'm telling folks, you're not going to be disappointed. But it's going to be this VIP experience, as we call it. It will be on Saturday only. It will be at 12 noon, but it is limited to 200 people only.
Very cool.
And once everybody finds out what it is, you're going to understand why.
To quote River Song, spoilers, sweetie.
Yeah.
The VIP package includes a 3-day pass.
Very
so
nice.
I want people to be able to, hold off, because, like I said, when this is announced, people are going to want to get that package. I can guarantee that I can't stress enough how huge this is.
Yeah.
Rachel pretty much knows it, from the contact with me. When I say it, I don't.
Yeah. Very much so. I mean, even without, your any sort of VIP experience, just what you guys have, managed to put together so far. I mean, for another 10 months.
Yeah.
And you've got so much groundwork already covered. It's, honestly, I think it's great, because I know with some conventions, they, for one reason or another, I know especially with booking guests, sometimes, stuff happens last minute, because, especially if it's someone who's actively working on a regular basis, that sometimes it's hard to guarantee that they'll have an opening in their shooting schedule. It drives me nuts sometimes, where I'm like, I might want to go to that con, but I don't know if it'd be worth it, because I'm one of those people where, meeting the guests is kind of a priority for me. And some of these events, they announce someone and it's so close before the event. I'm like, well, now I don't have, now I can't take the time to go, or I didn't budget for it. So it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and a lot of the conventions do wait to the last minute to announce their guests.
Yeah.
And and as you mentioned, that's one of the reasons I wanted to get everything locked in now. And yes, of course, there is always, with each one of them, that if a last minute job arises, that they may not be able to make it, people definitely substitute for. But that's in any case.
Yeah.
Because that's not a problem, but it's a situation that's been around since the beginning of the Doctor Who convention back in the 80s. But you can't, like I said, that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
Even though they do get, compensated for coming over, it's still, that's something, that takes priority.
Yeah.
But I think I'm pretty sure that with what we've gathered, I know with Paul, we are only going to be one of 3 conventions he's going to do next year at this point. That may change, because he is doing a stage play starting the first of the year, and he's going to take that in around the UK. But I know that he is definitely locked in. And Paul is not one to, when he books something, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. So he's not generally backing out.
Yeah.
And that was so exciting to get him because I did meet him at Cincinnati, and even at that Cincinnati convention down there, and even at that size of a convention, he, Paul does what he wants, and he took time to meet, talk with everybody, and then I just fell in love with the man. And I remember, for instance, I thank him for being there and representing Doctor Who through what I call the dark times when we had no Doctor Who. We had the audio adventures, and that was it. And Paul was the one that really carried that mantle. So 2005, when we were able to get the series back. So he's just a wonderful guy, and I'm just so glad that he's going to be there with. And then, honestly, the response has been through the roof since we announced him. The hits and the likes on the Facebook page, and people asking questions. I mean, it's, he is, and I do, I hope if and when they do replace Peter and he decides to step down, that they would consider giving Paul a chance. People so much want to see him continue or see some kind of continuation of his Doctor. Especially since, they did the Night of the Doctor during the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
He was, reintroduced to the fans, and they were like, oh my gosh, And of course, the man is eternally young. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it's like this guy never gets old. God bless him. I don't know what he's doing.
To corner him at the convention, go, what's your secret?
Yeah. I mean, he never changes. So that was a big plus, and I'm just so happy, and I'm so happy for all the fans out there who are following us and who are just getting word about the convention. That, you've just been over the top with your excitement about Paul being there along with the other cast. So just thank you all for that.
Yeah. I love your your guys' guest lineup, because you have a nice combination of, you got two doctors and a companion, and Caitlin in a way kind of is a companion. I mean, this young Amy Pond.
Yeah.
She never traveled in the TARDIS, but you got a nice little mix of old and new and recognizable, and maybe not so recognizable. I've been fortunate that I've met Paul. He's fabulous. I've met Sophie. She's wonderful. I've met Sylvester. Sylvester's a hoot. Yeah, I don't know how much personal experience you have with Sylvester McCoy at a convention, but the man is a firecracker in the best way possible. So, I don't know what you have planned as far as paneling. If you end up having him as a panel by himself, just have a microphone ready. That's all I'm saying.
Well, one thing I'm looking at is having he and Paul do a panel together, because actually he and Paul, they are very, very close friends.
Yeah.
So I think Paul could maybe keep him a little bit reined in, but I don't,
It's still Sylvester.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's still Sylvester. So I
remember.
Yeah.
I remember I did a convention again. This must have been, I would say, 86 or 87 in St. Louis, and he was there. And I remember, I had interacted with him naturally during the show because I was part of it. But I got into the elevator to head up to my room, and he got in the elevator, and the conversation he started with was basically, "Oh, we're having a nice day, aren't we? Nice weather outside, isn't there?" It's just his sense of humor is like, unique in itself.
Oh,
and
yes.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be new for me too, because I've never been around Sophie before. I've heard so many wonderful things about her.
Well, I imagine her and Sylvester together is going to be it's like fire on gasoline. I would imagine. So those two are.
Yeah. That's what I've heard, and it's kind of like a father-daughter relationship. Yeah. So it's really, really nice there.
They share a birthday. I don't know if it's that particular zodiac sign that they're both under, or what.
Yeah, right. That's definitely going to be a part of the programming, and we are now just starting to put the programming together. Now, one thing I will mention, I already mentioned the the TARDIS and the museum. Simon Fisher Becker is going to actually Saturday night at 7 o'clock, as things wind down in the amphitheater. What is a great part of the facility we're using is we actually have an amphitheater attached to it. He's going to do his one-man show, Let Zygons Be Zygons.
Nice.
Yeah. He's done, I believe this is his third one.
Yeah, he's got my Dalek has a puncture, my Dalek has another puncture.
Yes, and then now it's Let Zygons Be Zygons.
Yeah.
So, which is basically just him telling his experiences on Doctor Who and funny, all the funny anecdotes. And he's going to be doing that Saturday night. And then on Saturday and Sunday both, James Callahan from Big Finish, he's going to do a panel talking about Big Finish and his experiences with the different actors. But he's also a musician, and he's going to be doing a little bit of an acoustic session during his panel. So that's going to be fun. This is kind of fun stuff. We want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back in the '80s when we had music and stuff like that at conventions. They were called Filks. I don't know if any of you remember that or know about that. They were. I don't even know if they still do them or not. But it was, a bunch of even the guests and fans would get together and they would actually make up songs based on just off the tops of their head, based on Doctor Who and Star Trek. And that was a big thing back then. So.
Yeah, I haven't been going to conventions for that long, so I think that's a bit before my time.
Yeah.
I wasn't alive.
we had so much incredible fun back then because it was all new.
Yeah.
Doctor Who was just taking off here in the States and actually was on PBS. But that was good because it opened doors. I mean, they would come over and they would actually do live interviews during fundraisers in different cities for Doctor Who or for the PBS station in order for the PBS station to be able to afford to get it. And at conventions, I mean, we had a blast convention. I've got a lot of stories. I mean, my first convention I ever attended, and was a part of, was in '83, was Tom Baker, and he came to Philadelphia. I'm originally from the Philadelphia area, and one of my prized possessions was a photo of he and I together on the show floor right after he got off stage, because I was kind of shadowing and making sure nobody got a little overzealous or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was my first experience, and Tom, such an incredible man, he really is. And then I went on to start working with the Doctor Who Fan Club of America, which was birthed out of that movement. And they actually did work with the BBC, putting on conventions and such like that. I've got a really fond memory of Kansas City working with John Pertwee. I adored John, and God, I miss him so much. He was one of the doctors I was able to keep in touch with after that event.
Mm.
And I remember we went out to a Japanese steakhouse for dinner, all of us. There's probably about 6 of us. And John went with us. And whenever John was at a show like that, he went out. He dressed as the Doctor.
Oh, really?
Nice.
And we, he didn't wear the opera coat, but he wore his red felt jacket, and his furry shirt. And, kids would, even at the Japanese steakhouse, they knew he was in town. Little kids would come up to him and want his autograph, and it was great. Of course, one thing you had to learn about John is when he focused in on you and he wanted to mess around with you, he could mess around with you. Because at the steakhouse, at the steakhouse, he found out that I had a fondness for bean sprouts. So by the end of the night, I had a plate full of bean sprouts. Yeah, John kept telling a guy, he loves bean sprouts, and this guy kept just making the bean sprouts and sticking them on my plate. So,
Oh, my goodness.
and then we had we all had a little bit to drink that night, and we were heading back. We're heading back into the city, and we were on the highway, and I'm not. John was enjoying himself because we had a little bit of spirit, and there's tractor trailers whooshing by us on both sides. And John's sticking his arm out the window, going, "Oh, the city's over there." Like, you put your hand in before you lose it. It was, oh, he's fine, don't worry about it. And he's like, "Oh, the city's over there." So that was just some of those unique times that you always keep with you. I said to my wife, I wish John was still with us, and I wish Anthony Ainley and was still with us. Who I considered the quintessential master. Tony and I really connected. The shows we did together, and we corresponded back and forth up to the time of his passing. And I just miss him so much. He was such a gentleman and somebody that's totally opposite of the character he was playing. It dumbfounded you at times that how could this quiet, affectionate man play such an evil character? But he did. He just pulled it off, and so it was. I miss those fellows very much. But I would put, by now they would be very advanced in age, but you know what? I wouldn't care. I'd push the wheelchair around myself just for show. It was just, good times back then, So, and I want to bring. That's the reason why we're doing this, and I'm doing it. I want to create memories for folks. And like I said, I know at least 2 events in the country here that still do that. They want to give that feeling, and they do give that feeling to the fans that attend. So that's something we definitely want to do.
And I think that's very admirable of you. I've been very fortunate to attend a lot of different conventions. Some fandom specific, a lot of them just general purpose, pop culture comic conventions. And there are some that I've been to where it's obvious that the showrunners really care about the fan experience and, the memories that the fan takes away at the end of their attendance. And then there are some where they treat the people attending like cattle and pocketbooks. They want you to come in the door, grab you by the ankles, turn you upside down, shake you until all your money falls out, and then send you on your merry way. And the ones that actually treat the fans like human beings and fans first are the shows that I want to keep attending. So there are some where I've been to and I'm like, yeah, no. And I have people ask, they're like, hey, are you attending XCon, next year? And I'm like, nope, not really.
Yeah. Well, my current background is I'm coming out of, I'm an independent comic book creator and artist. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing that on the circuit for 7 years. So I know what you're talking about because I've been a guest at events where, it's got that homey feel. Then of course you get those that are just give me your money and that's it. Mm-hmm. And again, one of my experiences that attributed to the time Lord Expo creation was, I want to say about 3 or 4 years ago, Matt Smith was in Kentucky at one of the, I'll call it the mega convention. I think everybody can kind of figure out what I'm talking about. And my uncle, he's a huge Matt Smith fan. I took him down there until it came. We bought the photo op, we bought the autograph. We wanted the whole experience. And the photo ops were supposedly sold out before the show even started. We're on the convention floor. And Matt, of course, they're herding people in like cattle, as you said, to get into Matt's photo op. And then he started announcing, oh, hey, we've just added more photo ops. So, right there, it's okay, we're just out to get the money, and poor Matt's going to be treated like, a robot. Mm-hmm. And it was that way because then when we got in line to get our autographs, which was between them running him from the autograph station to the photo op station, back and forth. You were lucky to get an autograph. And then it was so swamped that he couldn't even lift his head up to say hi to you.
Yeah.
Because you picked out your photo, they handed it to the person next to him, the person next to him handed it to him, and his head was down and he was autographing them as fast as he could hand them out. My only interaction with Matt, not that I was expecting anything great, but, I said, Matt, thank you for coming. He said, no worries, mate. But, I realize that, for some of the younger doctors, the more recent doctors, I don't blame them. It's a good profit making, to be associated with these huge mega conventions. But it does take away from the fan experience, and that's one thing I like about Peter Capaldi. Even though Peter, he's done very, very, very few conventions here in the U.S., and some of them have been one day where he can fly in and out for the scheduling and shooting. But like in Washington, he was there over the summer, and they had sold tremendous amount of autographs, and Peter stayed there till late at night just to make sure everybody had their autographs, and he could at least interact with them a little bit. And but of course, Peter was a fan before being the Doctor.
Yeah.
He growing up, he adored William Hartnell. He's probably the only Doctor aside from Tom Baker, maybe Peter Davison, that remember William Hartnell on TV as the Doctor. But Peter is just such a he's an uber fan as much as he is the Doctor, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And that's always good to see. And he's been doing so many things with children's charities, going to visit hospitals, and just he'll show up every once in a while at the Doctor Who exhibit in Wales, and just pop out from behind a corner. Oh, hi everybody.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. But then getting back to point, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the expo, because I wanted to do and I wanted. My original idea was we weren't going to do any kind of special photo ops or anything like that, because I didn't want to take it away from people interacting with the doctors and the companions. Some things where you get people demanding, which is why we're going to be doing the dual photo op with Sylvester and Paul. And we're doing one on Sunday and one on Saturday, and we're limiting it to 250 people per session, so it'll be about 45 minutes to an hour session, and that's it. And then those are all pre-sale, so you can get those on our ticket sites. Like I said, it's either you can either do it on the Shop Now button on our Facebook page, or you can go right to Eventbrite to get your tickets through there. Just like in time, Lord Expo, it'll take you right there. But people were, once they found out we had the 6th and 7th, the 7th and 8th Doctor there, we actually did the TV movie together, and, it was a no-brainer. People said, hey, are we going to be able to do dual photo ops? So yes. And we tried to keep the price down as much as we can on that. It's $100 per the photo op when we put them together. And that, that goes to them. It's not, something we partake of. So, but aside from that, it's just all interact with the fan. I want them to be able to get up and walk into the dealer's room if they want and say hi to people. That's the kind of thing I'm going for. The old convention days, I remember Colin Baker, Colin Wheeler's room, and get behind the table and just start signing autographs for people right there. So it was just that kind of thing. We just want to keep it really nice for everybody.
That's very awesome. That's very cool. So, I'm excited. I'm kind of sad that your event's still so far away.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm all excited. I'm ready to go now, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I got cosplays to work on between now and then. So, but I've.
Well.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, it's just look at it this way. It's going to give us the opportunity to tweak everything and make sure everything is by the numbers. So that everybody's going to have that experience. I'm not saying we're not going to run into hiccups. because I can already see we are. You know, and that's, you know, if anybody wants to look that up, it's a Holiday Inn Dayton Fairborn. It's 2800 Presidential Drive in Fairborn. Fairborn, if you're not familiar, is a suburb of Dayton, so it's considered Dayton Fairborn. But you know, it's a wonderful facility, and I will say, you know, we're going to be a little pressed for space, but it's going to work. You know, we've got plenty of rooms to cover everything, and it's all going to work together. And I've got a great team with me, and a lot of local folks here who have been involved with conventions. People from out of the state who run their conventions, and they've been real big help. So it's we're just going to get it all tweaked and just give everybody the best darn show we can.
That's awesome. Very awesome. Wow. Well, I'm excited to see, you know, everything come together. And, you know, I know when you and I, you know, first met at Doctoberfest, you know, we didn't get a chance to talk for very long because there's so many people to talk to, and, you know, other stuff going around. But, you know, it's like, you know, obviously having you on here is, you know, our way of helping support and hopefully get the word out for your show, and, you know, sharing stuff on social media and all that. But, you know, I'm excited to see, you know, how the show comes together, and, you know, what all.
I'm trying to be as open with everybody on the Facebook page as I can, because I want them to be able to be part of it. You know, it's not like, oh, I'm the big shot. You know, this is, you know, I like to get, and I mean, I am getting a lot of feedback from people. And I do appreciate so much all of you helping us out and having us on, and being a part of it. And I know you're planning on being there. And I think we discussed you guys were going to have a table set up there, didn't we?
No, we haven't. We haven't really had a chance to talk exactly, you know, and what.
It's there if you want it.
What we could talk about that after we're done recording. You know, I figured we'd have you on the show first and let you make, you know, some of your announcements that you had planned, and then, you know, with Thanksgiving and the holidays and all that, you know, I figure we've got some time to discuss I
do want to. Before we wrap this up, you know, I do want to stress about the announcement.
Yeah.
Because it's something that, good grief, how can I put this? I'm in that corner again.
Yeah. It's like how vague can you be?
It's something that has only happened once before.
Okay.
Here in the States, it is an opportunity that has not happened in many, many, many years.
Alrighty.
Anyway, here in the States. So a lot of jaws are going to drop when it's announced. So,
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued.
There was actually a conversation going on one of our Facebook posts. Is between one of our inner circle, and she knows what the announcement's going to be. And she posted under one of our posts, or commented on it. You know, you Peruvians are not going to want to miss this. And everybody's like, "What is it? What is it? I want to know now." And they bugged her for a good hour and a half trying to get her to tell them what it was. Yeah. God bless her. She caved in. So yeah. So, but that's going to be, like I said, that's coming any day now. I'm just waiting for the ink to dry on the contract, and it's going to be announced. I was going to wait till January 1st, but the response that there was a huge announcement coming up, that would be cool. I can't do that to people. It's really got nothing to do with the ticket sales, because, like I said, they're limited. Once that 200 is gone, that's it.
Yeah.
But it's going to be something else.
Very nice.
What I don't know, but it's going to be something else. Well, I do know. I can't let it out. I want to. You girls have no idea how bad I want to say it. But I was specifically told, do not announce this until we are completely signed our contract.
Yeah. The last thing you want to do is announce something and the ink not be dry on the contract, and then something happened and you'd be like, sorry.
I do, yeah, because that would definitely end it. It would not happen if I did that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Last thing you want to do is have to renege on anything. Like,
yeah. But the VIP package that's going to be offered. Like I said, it includes a 3-day pass, and another really incredible piece is going to be added as part of that experience VIP package. But the fans are going to really love it, and all I will say is that it is an act of love on this person's side that is being done for the fans who will be attending this. Once you know who it is, you'll understand why it's so definitely. So, anyway, anybody got any more questions? I'm on a roll. I don't want to take up all this.
Somebody say something before he says something he's not supposed to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I gotta. I'm known to do that sometimes, but I don't want to do that.
Stop him before he says something he regrets.
Yeah, ask me a question or something. Or something out there. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Is there anything you guys think that I left out, or any questions you guys have? You know, that I think the fans might have, or?
I mean, the best thing I can say is, stay tuned to the Facebook page. We'll share stuff on social media when we can, just in case somebody happens to miss something.
Right.
So we'll definitely do that, and watch this space for information, I guess, is the biggest thing. And also, use the Facebook page to ask questions. On your guys' Facebook page, it says very responsive to messages. So
yeah, I do my best in my day job and everything else.
Yeah.
It's and Facebook is so fickle sometimes because it's telling me, oh, I'm very responsible in 5 minutes. Response in 5 minutes, and in an hour, then it takes 11 hours to answer. It's like, what? That's the glory of Facebook. But no, it is, unless it's late at night, I'll get back with you. So, like I said, ask any questions you want. And just bear with us because, I know people will keep asking me about the programming, and yes, we're beginning to build that.
Oh, yeah.
But again, we're 10 months out.
Yes.
And, we want to make sure we get everything nice for everybody.
Yeah.
So there will be announcements about that.
Yeah.
Oh, and I did want to mention about the hotel. Sorry, last minute.
No, go ahead.
The phone number for the hotel is on the Facebook page. That's where you can book your room if you're going to be coming from out of state or quite a drive in. 50 days out from the event, it will be on their website to be able to book through their Holiday Inn website.
Okay.
But they only do events 50 days out.
Okay.
But you can call the hotel direct. Just tell them you're with the Lord Expo. They've given us a lock-in rate of $109 a night. And that includes, I'm going to stress this because we all know how we all like to eat.
Yeah.
That includes a breakfast buffet, and when I say a buffet, this isn't a continental breakfast where you get day-old eggs and stuff like that.
Okay.
And no, I've seen it. It's incredible. So that's included in that. So hey,
very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that. So.
I am down for breakfast. Doctor Who breakfast. I am down. I am there. You didn't.
And go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you didn't even have to, drop like Paul McGann's name. You could have just said breakfast buffet, and I'd be like, I am there.
Yeah. Well, and two for everybody out there that's hearing this, that's, coming in from, and of course we're going to have a map, set up.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to have program books, so when everybody gets one, they'll know where things are at.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in a perfect area, the Fairfield Commons Mall, which is a huge mall, is right down the road. There's probably 30 different places to eat there. There are places to eat right around the hotel itself, and then in the hotel. So that it's all. Plus, we have the Air Force Museum. If people want to get away from the convention for a while, go visit it. We have the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force right down the road. So there's plenty to see and do in that area aside from the convention, and so we're really glad to have that area.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, Dayton, it's going to be easy to get there. It's like straight shot that way.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm only 20 minutes away, but unfortunately, I have to be there for 5 days in a hotel. So, you know, I'll be stir crazy after that. They're all getting in on Thursday, and I have to be there Wednesday, and then Friday morning is dealers set up, and everybody else is going to get set up.
Yeah.
We're going to have our soft open on Friday at 3. So, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
So I'm excited to see how everything comes together and to see some familiar faces and then some new faces. So I'm excited for some of your guests that are coming that I haven't met yet. So I'm like, you guys release like the autograph prices and I'm all like, well, I've already got those autographs. Hey, but now I can check off those. So I'm gonna add to my collection. And
they've all, and I love, God love them, all of them. They've kept the autograph prices affordable for everybody.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Paul was 40 and Sylvester is 50.
Yeah.
But everybody else is 30. Caitlin, I know, God love her. I'm so looking forward to meeting her. Her mother, her mom Linda, who's wonderful. She takes care of all of her booking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she will be there with her. And Caitlin is just such an adorable person.
Yeah.
And I think the fans are gonna just eat it up for being there.
Yeah.
It's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
And of course, Simon and Ian they're Simon and Ian. So.
Yeah. I've not had the pleasure of even hearing anything secondhand about Ian, but both Caitlin and Simon, we have a pseudo connection, or 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. In this case, it's a 1 degree of Caitlin and Simon Fisher Becker, our brother show, who's a Doctor Who specific podcast. They've had Simon Fisher Becker on their podcast several years ago, and ever since then he's been friend of the show, Simon Fisher Becker. That's and then he was at a convention and they moderated his panel the last year or two, and then they moderated a panel with Caitlin either earlier this year or last year. So we've got so I know from their experience with both of those people, how wonderful they are, and Caitlin at the time, it was like one of her first conventions, so she was very shy and wasn't sure exactly what was going on, but I think since then she's gotten more comfortable with doing the convention circuit, and obviously she's growing up. She's no longer little Amelia Pond anymore. She's grown up quite a bit, so.
Yes, and you know what is really kind of scary is that the older she gets, the more she looks like Karen.
Yeah.
I mean, of course they're cousins, but still, I've seen photos of them together recently. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She looks so much like Karen. It's incredible. So, and I hope to have Karen in the show. Everything goes off the way we're planning. We do another, keep this going, which I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
And I'd love to get her at the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I have to get them both at the show. That would be interesting.
Yeah. Well, Karen crashed Caitlin's panel when at the convention that she was at with our guys. They were doing the Q&A, and Karen decided to jump in line and then proceeded to jump on the stage. So.
That would be awesome.
Those Doctor Who alumni, you got to be careful with them because you never know what they might do. So.
Yeah, I know.
I'm saying you may need some extra eyes on Sylvester. If you need some extra eyeballs to make sure Sylvester doesn't get himself into trouble, let me know.
Okay.
Or I may end up helping Sylvester get into trouble. We'll see.
Yeah, because I know James Callahan from Big Finish. James, when he was mentioning, talking about doing his panel and doing some music and stuff. I can get Sylvester to do the spoons, and maybe I can get Paul up there to sing a little bit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go.
Sylvester will be ready with the spoons. All you got to say is say spoon, and he's got his little case. his little carrying case. It looks like a little guitar case, and he puts his spoons in. And as the minute somebody mentions him, he busts those suckers out like a proud parent.
That's gonna be awesome.
I saw him earlier this year. It was a panel with him, Peter, and Colin. And they were doing the Q&A, and somebody asked Sylvester, it was towards the end, and somebody asked Sylvester if he brought his spoons with him, and Colin was just like, oh God, no. Sylvester busts those things out and starts playing on, like, you know, Colin's head and Peter's shoulder, and so, yeah, no. So Sylvester will be ready with the spoons. He is... I know he is always ready to bust those suckers out. So.
Right. That's incredible.
So,
I wanted to mention, too, the dealers, too. We've got, the dealers room naturally. You've got to have the dealers room.
Oh, yeah.
Who North America is going to be there.
Yay!
Wibbly Wobbly, Timey Wimey, they're going to be there with the Doctor Who store, or the Who store.
Mm-hmm.
Out of Chicago, they're planning on being there with us. And then we have a lot of our local shops that are going to be there. So if anybody wants anything to do with Doctor Who,
no problem. No problem.
I know you go to the big media conventions, and you're lucky if you find any Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Believe me, you're going to get your Who on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, and of course I can't say enough good things about Keith and Janie over at Who North America. So they're fabulous people, and I'm excited that they're gonna be at the show. So Janie is all like, you want to help us set up? And I'm like, no.
Because you and I, we've seen their setup.
Oh yeah.
I know Janie was, when I first contacted her, they needed to know the exact specific, the measurements of the spot they're in, because they're going to pre-stage everything in the warehouse.
Yeah.
Load it up, bring it to the convention just like that. So it's cool. It's really awesome. I'm so glad that they jumped at the opportunity to be with us.
You give them enough space, and they'll bring the entire store with them if they could. So.
Oh yeah, I know. It's going to be like probably half of the store.
Yeah. Which is still a lot.
Yeah. And it's you can't have a Doctor Who convention without Who North America.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So.
They're incredible.
Yep.
Just awesome.
They're
looking forward to that.
People. Yep. Very cool. Very cool. So I'm all excited. Now you got me even more excited. I'm like, I still gotta wait 10 months.
I actually had a fellow. He was living here in Ohio when he first found out about the convention, and he thought it was this year. And because he moved to Texas, I believe, he's still following us. He's still messaging us even from Texas. He was like, "Oh man, I was so hoping it was going to be this year." And that was before we announced Paul, or we were just building the guest list at the time. But I actually think God love him. I think he's probably going to show up anyway, especially once that announcement comes.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not getting on that again.
Yeah.
I can't. I got to be.
No. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. We're going to.
No.
Pull the brakes on that particular topic for now. So.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no talking.
Does not feel psychic paper.
Yeah.
It's just not happening.
Well, I think on that note, maybe we should probably stop before things are said that shouldn't be.
Definitely.
So, but this was it was awesome to have you on and talk about this, and thank you for the stories about about bean sprouts and.
Oh yeah. And he even when he gave me an autograph.
Yeah.
The thank you thing. He even put in there, more bean sprouts to you, Patrick. Good way to rub it in there, John.
I'm never going to be able to eat Japanese again. I think without thinking of Pertwee bean sprouts.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank all of you for having us on and supporting us and giving us this opportunity. You guys are wonderful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's one of the unintended positives of us doing this. That was one of those things we didn't realize would be a thing when we started this podcast. We figured we'd just be getting around and talking about Doctor Who and other stuff and going, yay, fun stuff and fandoms and did you see that movie and that sort of thing. But as it's
Definitely.
gone on and, we've done now 117 episodes and, we try to go to conventions as best we can as, time and money permits. But there's, obviously there's the big, they shall not be named money-making conventions. But there's a lot of good people who just want to make, a one-day show or a couple-day show where it's not about how many people come through the door and how many dollars are plunked down. It's about people coming together who are like-minded in particular fandom or particular fandoms or particular interests, be it comic books or whatever, and just giving people an opportunity to come together and talk and, maybe meet a celebrity. That's always an added bonus, but really it's just getting, like-minded people together in a location for an X amount of time so that they can get together and go, hey, did you read that comic? Or, hey, have you seen that new episode of, whatever TV show? Or, hey, I heard this director's going to be doing this movie and that sort of thing. And cosplay and that sort of thing. So it's about the what was the word? I've lost the word I was looking for. The community. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, the community, and obviously, you mentioned certain names of certain conventions, and people are like, "Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about." And then you drop names of something like Lord Expo or Time Eddy or some smaller, some smaller convention. They'll be like, "What? Who? What? I don't know what you're talking about." So, we want to make sure that we give the smaller shows, the homegrown, our main concern is not making millions of dollars over the course of our shows a chance to, come on and talk about their passion for whatever it is that they're planning and what they want to do to help build that community of fans and like-minded people. So that's why we do this, and that's why we have people like you on. So
I really appreciate it. We really do.
Yeah. So obviously we will put the link to the Facebook page in the show notes. Make sure to go like Lord Expo on Facebook, and any other social medias. I know you guys are on Twitter. Are you anywhere else? Is it just Facebook and Twitter for right now?
Facebook right now.
Okay, so make sure to go follow them on the Facebook page and the Twitter to catch every announcement or tease of announcement as you've been doing recently. a lot of watch this space has been going on the Facebook page. Like, things are happening, I promise. Just hold on.
Yeah.
And obviously, dear listener, make sure you are following us as well on Facebook. We're Five-ish Fangirls. And all of our other social medias. You can find the links to all of those on our blog, which is the Five-ish Fangirls podcast.blogspot.com. From there, you can find links to our Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, Pinterest, that sort of thing. We're everywhere. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's all good. So make sure you're following us on those. The blog and our Facebook page are the biggest thing, especially our Facebook page. We're very active on Facebook, both for sharing important things and sometimes not important things like random memes. So if you just want to chuckle, come to our Facebook page. We probably have something that will make you laugh. If not, sorry. Also, don't forget, also linked on our blog is the link to our Patreon. We can't say enough thanks to our Patreon supporters. Obviously, we will keep doing this show whether you support us financially or not. But if you've got, a few bucks you can throw our direction, we will not say no. And then also our Amazon link as well. Don't forget, you can click on that, and that will take you straight to Amazon. I've had a few people ask me. It's real easy. You have to go on our blog, preferably on a computer, not a mobile device, because it's a little harder to get to. But on a computer, if you go out to our blog, you'll see a little thing on the side, right-hand side, says support the show through our Amazon link. Click on that. It'll open up Amazon. If you look in the URL in the browser, it'll see a bunch of nonsense, but you should see the word fish somewhere in the URL. If you see that, then you're good. Shop on Amazon. Buy whatever. Everything works. Anything from Doctor Who Christmas tree ornaments to toilet paper, all of it counts. So as you're doing your Christmas shopping and you buy through Amazon, if you think about it, click on that link first and then do your purchasing. We get a little bit of kickback from Amazon. It's nothing huge, but every little bit counts. It doesn't cost you anything extra. You can use promo codes, gift cards if you have Amazon Prime. That counts too, so it doesn't cost you anything extra. All it does is just support us a little bit. So I know my husband went and bought car parts a little bit ago, so we're good. Yay, thanks, honey. So that is all we've got, I think, for this week. So Patrick, again, thank you for taking the time to chat with us. So we will, if you want to hold on for a second here, we'll do some wrap up things after we finish recording here. So hold on for a few more seconds. So unless anyone has anything else, we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Bevda saying goodnight. This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening. This is Mitch saying goodnight from Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's a good thing we just finished because my husband's running the blender.
You have been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.